welcome to my other video. So today I'll be talking about Recoil. So Recoil is nothing but a state management library for React, and you can use it also inside vanilla JavaScript. And as you can see inside this RecoilJS documentation, Recoil works and things like React, and it is something like Redux. It provides one global state so that you can access that global state from any component. I'm going to make you understand Recoil by creating this demo React project where I will simply count the number of characters I will type inside this text box. So let's get started. So here you can see that I have already created one React project using create React app boilerplate. Now I'm going to install Recoil third-party library. So for that I have to write npm space I for install, then Recoil. After the installation, I will simply write code space dot to open VS Code into the same directory. So here you can see that the root component is nothing but your index.js. So inside index.js, I have injected, or you can say the create react app has injected this app component. So inside app component, I will first make the change. So I'm first deleting the whole app component and I'm writing RFC to use the React snippet to form one functional component. So here I will simply import one module from recoil. So I will write import recoil root from recoil. Here the recoil root is similar to the provider and stored in Redux. So I have to wrap my component inside this recoil root. So just I had to do something like that. So inside this, I will create one component and render it here. So I have to create one component named character counter. And inside this character counter.js file, I will again write RFC to create one functional component from VS Code snippet. And then I will simply inject this character counter component inside recoil root and make sure to import it from dot slash character counter as it is inside the same directory. Now inside this character counter, I will need again two components. One is text input and another is character count. So I have to create one text component, text input.js. So inside this text input.js file, again I need to create one functional component and I need to import one library or module from recoil. So write import and then I will use recoil state and I have to import it from recoil. And right here I have to declare the text and set text, and here I will use recoil state, and right here I need to pass the state of the text. So I need to just create one atomic state for that. So I'm creating one file named atom.js. So inside this atom.js, what you have to do, you have to first import atom. So write import atom, just import it from recoil, and then simply write export const text state. So basically you were exporting the text state from here so that you can use it inside your text input component. Write key, and it will be the unique id or unique identifier that is with respect to the other atoms or selectors. And I will just discuss about it, what is atoms and what is selector. So for now, just keep the key as text state, and the default value or the initial state will be just blank string, and then I will use it inside this use recoil state. So I will write text state and it will automatically import it inside this text input component. And then I will need input, and the type of the input will be text, and the value will be text, which I will get from right here. And I will call one event on change, and it will just invoke one method that is on change, and I will declare the method on change right here. So write const on change, and it will take the event, and it will just set the text from that event. So I will have to write text event dot target dot value. So here you have just declared one input type text, where you have to just enter or give the input so that it can count and give the results. And then I have to go back to my character counter component, and I have to import this text input component, whatever I have made just right now. And then I will need one other component, that is character count, to show the actual count of the words. And for that I had to create the component character count.js. So again, I'm here using RFC to create one functional component of character count, and inside this character count.js, need to import one module from recoil. So here simply write use recoil value, and just right here write const count equals to use recoil value, and here you need to pass the state of the character counter. So you need to create one selector. So create one selector file named selector.js. So at first you need to import selector from recoil, and also you need to import the text state from atom, I guess, because you are exporting the text state from here. So inside this selector file, so then write export const char count state, and it will simply give me the state of the counter. Then write selector, and here you need to pass again one key, and I will give the key as char count state, and it will just give me the current state of the counter, and it will simply increase the number of counter. So first I'm just receiving the text from here, get text state, and then I will return the length of the text dot length. So now I will use this character count state inside this character count component. So I have to write char count state and import it from selector, and then I will simply write character count, and I will pin the character count from here, because it is receiving the count from the global state. And again, going back to the character counter component, I have to use character count component inside it. So just write character count, and you have to import it from dot slash counter count, and you have to import it from the same directory. So now my demo project is ready to run. So let's start with npm start. So here you can see that at localhost port 3000 my React app is running. Now I'm going to test this application. So if I write avdojo, it is showing the echo, whatever I have written inside my text box, and then it is showing the counter. So the character count of this text is 6. That's why it is showing the count as 6. So whatever I will write, it will just keep increasing, and if I just keep pressing the backplace, it will keep decreasing. Now again, I will just go to whatever I have done from the beginning. So here I have imported recoil root so that I can access the global state from any component, and then I have injected my character counter component inside this recoil root. And if I go inside this character counter component, I have used two component, that is text input. So if I go inside this text input component, you will see that here I have used use recoil state, and inside this use recoil state I have passed one state, that is text state. So if I go inside this text state, I have used atom module from recoil. So what is atom? An atom represents a piece of state. Atoms can be read from and written to from any component. Components that read the value of an atom are implicitly subscribed to that atom itself. So any atom objects will result in a re-render of all components subscribed to the atom. So here you can see that I have set the default value of my text state key is one blank string. So if I just change it to 123 and go inside my browser, you can see that it will start from 123 because the initial state is 123. Now going back to the text input, and here what I've done, here on change of any text key or key press, I will just simply calling this on change method, and it is simply setting or updating the state, the global state, uh, with the new event dot target dot value. So this is the full text input component. And then if I go back to this character counter component, you can see I have used one another component, that is character count. And if I go inside this character count, you can see that I have used use recoil value and passed one char count state. So what is that? Char count state is nothing but one selector. Now what is selector? A selector represents a piece of derived state. Derived state is a transformation of state. You can think of derived state as the output of passing state to a pure function that modifies the given state in some way. So now here you can see that I have used char count state as unique key of this char count state. And now I'm getting the text state right here from the atom, whatever I have made the state inside this atom.js file, and then I'm just receiving the current global state of text state, and then I'm simply returning the length of that text. And then if you go inside this character count component, you can see that I'm printing here the total count, which is written by this use recoil value. So that's the basic thing you need to know from recoil. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please click on the subscribe and like button if you like this video. Thank you.